know how we said that professional journalism is dead, and that the editor is dead, the death of the editor?
Oh, yeah. You wrote a blog article about that.
Yeah, something like that. Well, we talk about it all the time. We read these headlines.
You think that's what qualifies you? You write blog articles?
Yeah, shut up. That's I got one right here. This is from, I don't even know what paper it is, but it's about an Oakland baseball player, and the headline is, Amphibious Pitcher Makes Debut.
What?
Yeah, it says amphibious. It says, Vendette becomes the first pitcher in 20 years to pitch both arms in a Major League Baseball game.
It says amphibious.
Yes, it says amphibious.
Wow.
So I wonder if he went for a swim after he pitched that game.
It's like Aquaman pitching.
That's right. He can pitch on the land, and apparently he can pitch in the water.
Well, you know what they say about the people that do kettlebells underwater.
That they pass out and die.
Yeah.
Don't do that. That's your fitness talk for today. Kettlebells and whether or not you should do them underwater. Not in the water, but actually under the water. So, all right. Welcome back to Student of the Gun Radio. I am your host, Professor Paul Markle, and we are here. Where is here, you might ask? Well, most of you know because you're dedicated students of the gun. But if you're new, welcome. Sit down. Take a deep breath. Open your ears. Close your mouth. And listen. That's all you have to do. That's all. You know, Jared, how easy can we possibly make it for people? All they have to do is open their ears and close their mouth and listen.
If you're a mouth breather, start breathing through your nose.
Okay, well. But anywho, welcome back. We are at the Glass Case of Emotion Studios here on the glorious Gulf Coast of Mississippi in Biloxi. And it's Wednesday, is it not? Yeah, it is Wednesday. It's the middle of the week.
You know what I don't do?
What do you not do?
I don't give Think On Productions enough credit.
You don't give Think On Productions.
Yeah, Think On Productions is actually my company. I use that to produce the radio show and the TV show and the websites and everything. So thank you, Think On Productions.
Did you just advertise your company on my radio show?
No, that wasn't an advertisement. It was a statement.
You just promoted it? Okay. Yeah. All right.
Am I allowed to do that? Can I do that?
Sure, why not? What the heck? Oh. Well, it is Wednesday, and that means we're going to have a SWAT Fuel Fitness Talk Day. And actually, Jared, on a completely and totally serious note, when it comes to anything new, unique, or different, or things that break the mold, I think that men are men. And whether it's kettlebells, whether it's firearms, whether it's whatever, we regurgitate the same stuff over and over and over and over again. And then when something different or unique comes along, or we have this tendency to push back against it.
Yeah.
And that really, do you believe that you see that? Kettlebell training and kettlebell workouts have been around for a long time, but they haven't been in the United States for a long time.
No. CrossFitters, they developed the kettlebell. Did you know that?
Did CrossFit invent the kettlebell?
Yeah, I think they threw up in the shape of a kettlebell, and they're like, hey, that would make a good weight.
It's a great way to stay in shape.
It's a great way to stay in shape. So what were you?
No, what I wanted to talk to you about is kind of the cognitive dissonance, like in the firearms community. We get that,
Nobody's stubborn in there.
Somebody will invent something, or a company will come up with something that is an actual improvement upon a previous model. And I'm not talking about new toys. I'm talking about an improvement. And everybody pushes back against it. Oh,
Did you see what Mike Deddy tagged you in yesterday?
No, what was that?
Video of the new AR platform that his friend came out with, or I think it's...
Is it that AR-7 or Rec-7 or what is it?
I don't remember.
I
just watched the video real quick, and it was late last night, so I don't really remember much of it.
Yeah, Mike's got a friend out there in Arizona.
Kaiser US.
Yeah, that's it, and it's pretty slick. It's a piston-operated gun?
I don't remember.
I believe it is.
Stop asking me questions. It's early.
Oh, okay. But anyway, go ahead. When it comes to kettlebells, should people be afraid of them? Or are we doing it right? Are people trying to take kettlebells and do dumbbell workouts with them? Or what's going on?
I've not really had a lot of experience with just outsiders using kettlebells. Like if I see somebody using kettlebells, it's usually because I told them to do that, or I'm in a fight gym, or I'm in it. Well, I mean, the Barn of Truth is a fight gym.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know. I've never been anywhere where people weren't using kettlebells correctly, because people that don't know what they are, don't understand them, are too afraid to pick them up and use them.
Well, but what about these gyms that go out and they're like, well, we have a gym or we have a fitness center, and apparently our members want kettlebells. So they get online and they go to the catalog and they order the basic set of kettlebells and they stick them out on the floor. Is that going to be, is that going to be good for people, or are they just going to...
Oh, yeah, that would be good for people as long as people actually learn how to use them correctly.
Right, that's what I'm saying is can you just walk up to one and pick it up and just...
Oh, no. You have to actually... There is correct form that you have to use. Kettlebells, you could really hurt yourself if you don't do it correct.
That is what I was trying to draw out of you, is that, if you don't have instruction in how to use it, or at least a basic course, a lot of people... Well, and you know what's funny? We were looking for the House of Pain here for kettlebells, and this one company we went to, they didn't have any instructional videos on their. They had videos about their products, but they didn't have any videos about how to use their products. Maybe they did that on purpose because they didn't want liability. But
that's in the future. I'm going to do some how-to videos for basic home workouts, and then add some kettlebells in there too. Yeah. I think I'll do a kettlebell mastery course.
There you go. You want to do a how to break kettlebells course?
Yeah, I could do that.
You could do that. He knows that. He knows how to do that.
So, I broke one in the grass.
In the grass?
Yeah, not on concrete. In the grass.
Did it hit your head?
Nope.
It snapped over?
Yeah. My head is pretty hard, though.
Anyway, well, in the House of Pain now, in our gym, we have from the little itty-bitty one, we have a little itty-bitty one for the yoga chicks, and then we have these, like, cast iron bowling balls with handles on them that I don't even know how they got in the building. I think two people
carried one kettlebell.
Carried one, yeah. And of course they you want to talk about pood?
Oh yeah.
How kettlebells are measured in pood?
Yeah, they're measured in pood
because it's Russian.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's what you need. You guys need to just hook up with a Russian Spetsnaz trainer and go to town.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of which, and I know I totally just took a hard left turn here, but Sonny Pazikas has his instructor, the guy who taught him how to do the deadly, nasty stuff that he does, named Vladimir, right? His instructor is a guy named Vladimir. Well, and I'm aware of him because of Sonny. Some Facebook idiot put a 30-second clip of one of Vladimir's training classes or one of his demonstrations, and they were like, "Oh, this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen." And I'm like,
"What was it?"
Well, it was basically people would rush up to him, and he would, how the Sistema guys, they take your arm.
Oh, yeah.
You go to punch them, and they take your own arm and they wrap it around your head and flip you over on top of your noggin and stuff. Yeah. But
it's like Russian Krav Maga.
Yeah,
except for it works. What?
But they were making fun of it, and I was like, "You guys have no idea." It's the I guess a classic case of forum balls. I'm going to sit here in the safety of my bedroom or my basement on my laptop, and I'm going to make fun of these people who, if I was in the same room as them, would cause me to evacuate my bowels. If you're ever in the same room, all these online crap talkers, as Sonny Pazikas and Vladimir, they could make you evacuate your bowels just by looking at you. But I digress.
Dude, I've got it.
What? You know what? All right, you know what? Go ahead.
Our new class is going to be, we're going to teach tactical Krav Maga.
Tactical Krav Maga as opposed to regular?
Yeah, but because regular Krav Maga isn't tactical enough, so we have to come up with a new form of tactical Krav Maga.
It is Wednesday, and we're totally all over the board here because you didn't play the SWAT Fuel Fitness Talk update theme. And if you don't play that, people are out there, they're itching. They're twitching around in their seats waiting.
I really think Dad really just wants to hear this.
Okay, well, maybe I do.
Original cute body make a man mad. Woman physically fit, physically fit, physically fit. Woman physically fit, physically fit, physically fit. Woman nice, trick, fantastic. fantastic. Big ship on the ocean at the big Titanic. Woman in ice, sweet, energetic. Big ship on the ocean at the big Titanic. Woman in ice, sweet, fantastic.
The original King Julian. All right, I'm gonna tell you the truth. The last MP3 player that I had, and you're like, oh what? Yeah, the last MP3 player that I had that song on it, the whole thing. Now the whole thing's only like 2 minutes long, but yes. So that is King Julian, the original King Julian, with the Physically Fit from, what movie was that again? Madagascar. How could I forget that? Madagascar 1, the good one, and then it just got worse from there. You know what? If the Congress and the Supreme Court, if they wanted to do something good, if they wanted to do something productive in the world, what they would do is they would force Hollywood to bring sequel ideas before a court of record. And they're like, no, you're not going to do that. No, but no. Sorry, no. That would save us. Save us a lot of time and aggravation, don't you think? If they wanted to do something good. What are you laughing at? Are you laughing at a text you just got, or are you laughing at me?
No, I was laughing at you.
No, I'm serious. It's like, because, all right, name me one Disney movie that has ever had a sequel that wasn't a piece of garbage.
Aladdin?
No. Try again.
Anastasia.
Try again. There wasn't an Anastasia sequel.
I know.
Maybe there was.
Was there?
There might have been a straight to VHS.
Avatar.
What? They didn't do an Avatar sequel.
Yeah. You know why? Because it sucked.
Well, no, it didn't. It was really good when it came out as Dances with Wolves. And they're like, let's do. I've been trying to educate your brother on that.
Dances with Wolves was a good movie.
It was a good movie.
Do not compare those.
No, that's exactly what Avatar is.
I know, but
they're like, what if we did Dances with Wolves only in the future on another planet, and instead of Indians, we made them like blue aliens? What if we did that? Yeah. I'm sure that was the pitch meeting, because that's exactly what it was. But you're just supposed to be so dumb, so stupid that you don't realize that you're.
It was for kids, so the generation probably has no idea what Dances with Wolves is.
Well, I was talking to your brother, who's only 18 years old now, and he said something about Robin Williams and his movies, and he said Flubber, and I said, you know, it was a remake, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, what? I said, yeah, there was black and white movie, and I said, you know, Nutty Professor was a remake, and he's like, the one with Eddie Murphy? Yes, that was a remake. What? Cheaper by the Dozen, a remake. There's just, and what's sad, folks, is this. Well, what they do in Hollywood is they pretend it's not. They promote it like it's a brand new movie, and if you're under age 30, you're like, yeah, this is a brand new movie. It's like Mad Max. I heard they did this new movie called Mad Max. Did you hear about that? It's supposed to be really good. Something about like the desert in Australia, really? Post-apocalypse.
I never saw the original one, but I knew
future.
There was an original, so I didn't have anything to compare it to, and I liked the new one. It was pretty good.
Oh, all right. So that's it. So here's the deal: the cat in the hat and that be that moment for the SWAT Fuel Fitness Talk is if you're going to use kettlebells, they are good. They are a good way to stay in shape. But you need to know what you're doing. Take a class from somebody that knows what they're talking about, like a Russian Spetsnaz soldier or something like that.
Real quick, speaking of not Russian Spetsnaz soldiers, wow, that was hard to say. But speaking of what I'm doing right now on Facebook, we're going to be talking to Paul Leitner-Wise from Leitner-Wise Manufacturing tomorrow. Is that tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow, if we can make it happen.
Yep, we're going to make it happen. It'll be tomorrow, so tune in tomorrow. You should tune in every day anyway, but it's a kind of an interesting interview.
We're gonna talk to him about we're gonna get the list of people in the industry that we're supposed to hate, because apparently there's a list out there and I haven't gotten it yet.
I didn't know firearms. I didn't know firearms and fashion went together, but I guess we'll see.
All right. Well, here's the deal. It is Wednesday, and we have some slave state news for you, and we got a lot of slave state news. But before we do that, we're going to thank our friends at Century Arms. Thank him for sponsoring the Student of the Gun mobile app, as well as Student of the Gun radio. If you don't have the Student of the Gun mobile app yet, it's super simple. You can fix yourself real easy. Go to your iPhone, Go to your iTunes store and type in the word Student of the Gun. Tap it, and bam, you have it. Or you can go to your Google Play Store and do the exact same thing. Put it on your tablet, your iPhone, your Android phone, whatever. It costs you nothing. It doesn't cost you a dime, just your time and effort, because of our friends at Century Arms. Crossbreed holsters, if you need to carry a gun, and you should be carrying a gun, you need a Crossbreed holster. I'm wearing the Super Tuck Deluxe right now. As a matter of fact, you know, Jared, I drove your mom's new car the other day, and I was driving it, and I had that flash moment about, I don't feel my gun.
Oh, yeah.
And it has bucket seats,
yeah.
But usually if you have wraparound seats or bucket seats and you're wearing a holstered gun, it pushes into you and you feel it. And I said, well, of course you have a gun on, Paul. You have your pants on, so that means you have a gun on. And I did, but it didn't bother me at all. Crossbreed holsters, the Super Tuck Deluxe, that is the holster that you can wear from the time you wake up in the morning and put your pants on until the time the sun goes down and you take your weary butt to bed. All day long, no hot spots, just do it. And finally, Frog Lube, it just works. You want a minty fresh gun? You want a gun that runs all the time? Check out Frog Lube at froglube.com. All right, you ready to hit me up with some slave state news? Because this story just popped up as I was preparing the show notes, so it's less than a day old as you guys are hearing this.
I like to teach you all the rules. I get to see them set in stone. I like it when you chain me to the bed, but then your secrets never show.
Thank you, Puddle of Mud, for Control. You know, that song's going all the way back now to like 2001, something like that. You remember when it was new, don't you? Kind of. How old were you in the year 2000? 10?
I don't know. I can't math.
You can't math?
No.
All right. The story's been all over the place, but here is the source for this particular one, NBCnews.com. TSA fails to ID, that would be identify, 73 airport employees with links to terrorism. I'm sorry, what now? A new Department of Homeland Security Inspector General report found that the Transportation Security Administration failed to identify 73 aviation employees with active security clearance badges who had links to terrorism. Wow. So what exactly are those people there for? To molest your children and steal from your bags? That's what they're there for? Oh, to molest you if they think you're cute? If little, I don't know, whatever, your alternative lifestyle guy thinks you're cute? Yeah, the people who were employed by major airlines, airport vendors, and other employers were not identified because TSA is not authorized to receive all terrorism-related information under the current policies, the report said. The agency's, quote, multi-layered process to vet aviation workers for potential links to terrorism was generally effective. Oh, so it's generally effective. Well, 100 terrorists tried to access the airport, but only 10 got through. So that's a 90% success rate. Well, heck. Oh, man. In addition to initially vetting every application for new credentials, TSA recurrently vetted aviation workers with access to secured areas of commercial airports every time the Consolidated Terrorist Watch List was updated, the report found. However, our testing showed they actually ran an inspection on the TSA to find out if they're doing their job. I guess doing their job stealing from your bags and harassing your grandmother. However, our testing showed that TSI did not identify 73 individuals with terrorism-related category codes because the TSA is not authorized to receive all terrorism-related information under current blah, 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 blah. Folks, this is what I need you to... All right, this goes on and so forth. Well, they're and essentially what they're doing is they're like, well, yeah, they failed, but it's not their fault. That's what I'm getting from this story. Is that what you're getting, Jared?
Yep.
It's like, well, yeah, they failed the test, but, dude, did you see what the this is the NBC News story, and the Halima Abdullah is the writer of note.
So they're all working together.
Is the journalist of note
That's
here.
how he got an inside.
Is that it might be a chick, dude. You don't know.
Well,
Quit being racist or sexist.
I would say that's sexist.
Don't be misogynistic.
I don't want to be an ist.
Don't denigrate. Because if you denigrate, that makes you a misogynist, and we have to talk about your gender identity. So don't do it. But
I don't even know what just happened.
bottom line, here's the bottom line. The bottom line is this. It's this. Why are we spending millions, if not billions of dollars annually on these morons, on these clowns in blue shirts? How much evidence do we need to have that the TSA is a colossal failure and a complete and total waste of taxpayer dollars? How much more evidence do we need? Oh, we gotta have something, Paul. We gotta have something. We gotta have something. Oh, we gotta have something. So we're gonna have this completely ineffective criminal organization. How about the Department of Justice do a pattern and practice investigation on the TSA? How about that? They're so worried about your Mayberry PD being racist or homophobes or whatever. How about we take the evidence that we have, the actual evidence that we have that TSA employees are thieves, they're perverts, they're reprobates. Yeah, I said it. And how many more, Jared, how many TSA reports have we done on this story or on this show? We've been doing them for 2 years at least. And that's just been since we did it. Molesting little children, making them cry. Molesting adults. Stealing.
Old people in wheelchairs.
Harassing veterans. I've seen it with my own eyes. Telling the little old lady that she can't take the bag of grapes on the plane. Pulling her aside and rifling through her bag. And, are these your grapes, Grandma? Are you trying to sneak these grapes onto the plane? Really? You're harassing my grandma because she's trying to take a Ziploc baggie of grapes onto the plane in her check bag?
Now, I'm not saying that this is a good idea, but I'm just wondering how many TSA agents would have to be punched in the face before they stopped harassing us?
Well,
that's not a good idea.
Well, that's not a good... Oh, no, it's never a good idea. Violence is never the answer.
But I just wondered.
Violence is never...
You ever think about that? How many...
Violence. Here's what I'm going to leave you with this. Violence.
Well, we're not leaving yet.
Is never the answer, but fighting solves everything. It does.
You just dropped the mic.
Drop mic, walk off. All right, freaks. You want to talk any more about these ass clowns? And can I say that?
Yep. Did you hear about the government got hacked?
Oh, you mean
so that all of our pictures, all of our risque pictures, now are in the hands of somebody else. The employment records.
The Syrian Electronics Army hacked the. Folks, yeah, I saw that.
Oh, was it? Syrian, see, when I listened to the news story, it said that they didn't know who it was yet.
No, it was a flash yesterday. It was his flash news. It popped up when I was researching show notes, and it was a red flash news at the top, and it says government admits. Syrian army hacked U.S. Army computers. And I'm like,
how is that even possible? Whatever.
So what?
So ISIS is now they have the information of the U.S. military.
I'm gonna Google it right now. I'm gonna duck it. Army computers hacked.
I was thinking maybe it was Anonymous, because Anonymous said that if the government didn't fix themselves, they were going to start hacking their computers.
Oh, this is 17 hours ago. U.S. Army's public website taken down. Let's see, abcnews.go.com.wix.
Seriously?
No.
Okay.
U.S. Army's public website taken down temporarily after hacking. The Army's main public website has temporarily been taken down as a protective measure after it was compromised by what appears to be an internet hackers, supporters of President Bashar Assad, U.S. officials said. The website does not contain public information of U.S. Army soldiers and is the U.S. Army's main site for news and public information. Derpa. I don't know. I don't know if I believe that or not. I don't know if I believe that they're trying to blame Syrian supporters of Syrian President Bashar Assad. Well, here's what I'm going to tell you. If I had to choose between Assad and Comrade Barry, I don't know. It's not really a hard...
Putin.
Yeah, Putin. How about King Hussein of Jordan? Which one's the one that jumps out of airplanes? Was that King Hussein?
I don't know. If it's from Jordan, Mookie will know.
Yeah, no, that's one guy we were talking about when we had Mookie on the radio. He was talking about the King, about what a badass he was, and how he was like the King was a commando.
The King went commando.
He was a commando.
Did anybody tell him?
No, he can do whatever he wants. He is the King. All right, moving on. It is we're 26 minutes into this, and this next topic is going to take me a little bit of time here because I want to give it its due. But before we do that,
or after,
do you want to acknowledge anybody before we do that?
I would like to acknowledge my family, and I'd like to thank God for making this possible, and I want world peace.
How about velocity triggers?
Okay, we could do velocity triggers because they are designed for precision.
Exactly. VelocityTriggers.com. You got a black rifle? They've got a trigger for you. Check these guys out at VelocityTriggers.com.
That's pretty good. I'm going to go to BrownEllis.com right now, and I'm going to see if Velocity is on there yet.
Okay.
I know they were going
They're supposed to be very soon. We know that was the plan. Was to get Velocity Triggers onto BrownEllis.com.
Well, BrownEllis.com, they have everything there. So Velocity Triggers. I'm not seeing anything. I typed in Velocity Trigger, and it comes up with ammo, a scope, some magazines, a 22 conversion kit for AR. Select items on sale. And then some scopes.
So they're not in there yet.
No triggers. M1 Grand adjustable gas system.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
So how nice for you.
Oh, even crossbow for archers.
All right.
With a scope.
So
they're much more fun on TV.
Not on Brownells, right?
No, not on
yet.
Brownells.
But you can still go to Brownells because they only have like 787,000 other products in their catalog.
Yeah, they've got lube.
They do? They have frog lube?
Yep.
All right. So check those guys out at BrownEllis.com. If you own a gun, even if you don't own a gun, Brownells has got something for you. All right, this next story comes to us from Breitbart.com, and it might have been Breitbart that had the flash news at the top, but Reverend Michael Pfleger, and I'm good. It's Pfleger, and this is a quote from the quote-unquote reverend. You notice how all these left-wing guys are reverends, like the Reverend Jackson and the Reverend Al Sharpton. I want to know where these guys. Where's the Reverend Al Sharpton's church at? Where does he preach?
Can I tell you something? We just got a message.
Sure.
This dude, sorry guys, complete aside here, but I'm going to give Dad a little bit of time to figure out what he's looking for. He says, this dude said that since Beyond the Band-Aid is a prerequisite now, you shouldn't have much trouble finding a place in Michigan to do the class. And he said, and I told him basically what we need for Beyond the Band-Aid. And he said that he's moving his CPL classroom to a bit of a larger building. He said, I was talking to Mookie last night about you guys coming to Michigan. I told him I would let Paul teach me to tie my shoes if that was the class that was coming.
All right, and just thank you for that. And FYI, I did not lose my place. I know exactly what I'm going to say. Reverend Michael Pfleger, quote, NRA will pay for the murder of Chicago children. Yes, according to this person who calls himself a reverend, on June 6, Reverend Michael Pfleger listed recent shootings in heavily gun-controlled Chicago and then said the NRA, quote, will pay for the murder of our children. And you want to know something about the company you keep? When you keep, you can tell people by the company they keep. He was joined by Reverend Jesse Jackson and the Brady campaign to prevent gun violence president Dan Gross.
Wonder how much money they gave him to say that.
Yeah, how much money did you get? How big of a donation did your church group get there, Mr. Pfleger? He was joined by blah, blah, blah. Pfleger, Jackson, and Gross rallied outside of Chuck's Gun Shop, where Jackson recently rallied for a ban on guns already banned in Chicago. What? Jackson rallied for the ban of guns that are already banned in Chicago. Okay. Pfleger began his speech at a rally by pointing out that 10 persons were shot and 3 were killed on the night of June 5th alone. He then said, "I'm not a gun grabber. I'm a life lover." No, you're not. You are not. After which he pointed to Chuck's gun shop and said, "And I love life more than the death that they are perpetrating." Really? He continued. He wasn't done yet. "And I'm tired of the NRA, tired of them prostituting themselves and buying politicians in this country." All right, can we stop for a second for a sanity check? I'm going to stop for just 1 minute here. This so-called reverend person gets out in public in Chicago. Chicago. This guy, this hack, this false prophet, this political hack gets out in public in the city of Chicago and accuses the NRA of buying politicians. I don't even know if I can wrap my mind around that. If for 1 second you were going to give this guy, like you were going to give him a pass or give him a break or say, well, he may be misinformed, but at least he has the right, heart, or at least he's trying to do the right thing. As I compose myself, I'm tired of gun manufacturers and John Riggio from Chuck's making money off the blood running down our streets and our children laying in cemeteries while they live in gated communities where there's no gun shops like Chuck's. I'm tired of the funerals of babies while the NRA, manufacturers, and Chuck's run to the bank to make profits on death. How much money are you making? How much money are you making? How much money is Jesse Jackson making? How much money does David Gross of the Senator Brady campaign to prevent gun violence, how much money do they make? Do they do it for free? Are they begging for alms in the streets? Folks, this not only is this insulting to any intelligent human being out there, this is extremely insulting that someone in the city of Chicago, that is between Chicago and D.C. and, maybe the entire state of New Jersey and New York, the strictest gun control laws in the nation, right? You have to get so you're telling me, Mr. Pfleger, that all of these murder victims were killed by people that went out and got FOID cards and then went to Chuck's gun shop and made a purchase, filled out their 4473, had them call in and do the background check. And all these people that died, all these children, all these cemeteries died because people went to a gun shop, pulled out their ID, filled out the paperwork, and bought guns. Well, no, I don't believe that. I never said that. It's the existence of guns. Okay, Mr. Pfleger. So you believe that the existence of guns is what causes murder in Chicago? That if we could wave a magic wand and eliminate all firearms from the Cook County, Chicago area, then we should do that, right? Oh, that would never work. Well, why not? Well, because there's too much freedom, like in Indiana, in Wisconsin, in Iowa, and Michigan. People can buy guns there, and then they bring them into Cook County. Oh, so we need to extend your Cook County, Illinois gun control because your city is full of criminals and felons and vermin. We need to extend that all the way out to Michigan and Indiana, and let's do Missouri while we're at it. Let's do Iowa. Let's do Wisconsin and Minnesota. Would that make you happy? Oh no, they can get them from Virginia, and it's like, so what you're telling me is that if a criminal wants to get a weapon to get a gun, to get a knife, to get a hammer or a 2x4 to beat you over the head with, that the criminal is going to be able to do that regardless. Folks, this is sick. This is twisted. And what is most disturbing to me about this particular story is it's not just another political hack. It's not just another leftist trying to ingratiate himself and get himself in with the ruling class. You know, if you're in Cook County, if you're in Chicago, and you want to be part of the cool crowd, you want to be part of the ruling class, then you need to say certain things, and you need to do certain things. If you want to be a party member, if you want to be, a party member in good standing, you need to say and do certain things. You need to make sure that you're thinking the right way. And so it's not just that this guy goes out and, and claims, but he puts the name Reverend in front of his name. He puts the term Reverend in front of his name. And I don't know what he's the Reverend of. Oh, here we go. This is the capper. This right here is the capper. He ended his speech by calling out the NRA, specifically saying, quote, "At the end of the day, you can argue with us and you can call us names, but you've got to deal with God. And the blood of our children is on your hands, and you will pay for the murder of our children."
Can I hear? This is a perfect time. I'm going to read this passage from 2 Kings 19:35. 19, verse 35. I wish you guys could see him right now. Did you get it?
No, I made a mess.
Okay. So this says, that night the angel of the Lord went out to the Assyrian camp and killed 185,000 Assyrian soldiers. When the surviving Assyrians woke up the next morning, they found corpses everywhere. So I'm trying to figure out, this dude is using God to say killing is bad when murder is bad.
No. All right.
And so, this goes directly into the...
Well, murder is bad. Murder is the unlawful taking of human life.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. But I don't understand.
They're not talking about stopping murder. They're not... This guy, never once does he, in all of this nonsense that he spouts, never one time does he lay the responsibility at the feet of the people that are actually pulling the triggers and doing the crime. Folks, this is sick. This is twisted. And let me tell you what, Mr. Flegger, you want a duel? You want to fence with me? Don't bring God into it. So you're telling me that God is for gun control? That God thinks only the state should be in possession of weapons and that the peasants can't be trusted? A lot of good men with guns have secured this world. Good men with guns have saved and rescued millions of people throughout human history. Good men with guns. My grandfather went overseas and risked their very lives. Many of them surrendered their lives so that other people could be free and live. What do you think about Chicago PD, Mr. Flegger? Should they be disarmed? No, they're good. No, Chicago PD, they need to have guns. Why? Well, because criminals have them. Oh, so it's not about gun control. And this is the lie. And it infuriates me that
Maybe
someone...
we should save this for the bonus hour.
No, it has to be done now. It has to be done now. That someone would cloak themselves in the label of Christianity in order to push forward a leftist propaganda like this. And gun control is socialist propaganda, and socialism is just communism in a new dress and lipstick. That's all it is. Folks, don't buy into this. Don't believe this. And this is what is so sick and insidious about the modern populist Christian movement. And that's what I'm going to say, populist. because you have people that are supposed to be tending and protecting the flock, and instead they're latching on to charlatans, to these race pimps like Jesse Jackson, to these socialists like the Brady Campaign for Violence, blah, blah, blah. How about the Brady campaign to eliminate felons and vermin and scumbags and thugs within the city of Chicago? Oh, that's difficult. You don't understand, Paul. You don't understand how difficult it is to actually deal with human criminals. It's much easier to harass lawful business owners and to attack an inanimate object and to blame an inanimate object. I'm pretty sure that Wayne LaPierre wasn't on the streets of Chicago thugging it up, bussing caps into the Bloods and the Crips. And I feel very certain that the Bloods and the Crips are not going to Chuck's gun shop with their FOID cards to buy guns. This nonsense here, this people cloaking themselves in religion and within pseudo-Christianity, because it is not Christian. It is not a Christian value to weaken the citizen, to leave people helpless. And that's what this guy wants. He wants, well, we know the criminals are never going to have their guns because they get them because they're criminals. That's what they do. They're going to steal, they're going to kill, they're going to murder, they're going to do whatever. We know that the state, they're never going to surrender their weapons because that's what they use to control the peasants. So who, Mr. Flegger, are you talking about disarming? Well, that'd be you peasants. You peasants can't be trusted with arms. If we only had more disarmed peasants, don't we have enough disarmed peasants in Illinois? When are you going to be happy, Mr. Flegger? I got a question for you, Mr. Flegger. You ever hear of this thing called the Holocaust? Was that real, or was that just left-wing, or was that CIA propaganda? Do you believe that the Holocaust actually happened? Well, yes, I do believe the Holocaust happened. What happens when you marginalize a portion of the citizenry, that you disarm them and then marginalize them and turn them into second-class citizens, into non-humans? What happens to those people? Not just in Nazi Germany, everywhere in the world. I know that Nazi Germany is the perfect example that we like to talk about. We don't talk about Cambodia. We don't talk about the 2 million people in Cambodia that were slaughtered in the killing fields. We don't talk about that. We don't talk about the 20 million Russian citizens that were slaughtered under the Stalin administration, the Stalin regime. We don't talk about that. We don't talk about, Turkey. We don't talk about what's going on in Rwanda. We don't talk about any of that, where disarmed people are rounded up and slaughtered wholesale. We don't ever talk about that because, no, gun control, NRA, shut up. I'm not going to tolerate this for one more second. And?
What? Why not?
You want me? Can I?
This should be more tolerant.
This has been coming, and I've seen this. This people that are supposed to be Christians aligning themselves with socialists and supporting civilian disarmament, telling their parishioners that they need to be subservient, that they need to be weak. Hey, Mr. Flegger, where are you when Christians are being persecuted and jailed and fined in the United States, being handcuffed and taken away to jail for not making a homo birthday cake or whatever, a wedding cake? Where are you on that? Where are you, Mr. Flegger, on the tens of thousands of Christians that are being slaughtered right now in Iraq and Syria and Africa?
He's obviously not for rights. He doesn't care about the rights of the people.
Disarmed Christians that are being pulled out of churches and cut up with machetes in Africa. Does that bother you, Mr. Flegger? Boy, it's a good thing those people don't have any guns, because guns are bad. No, Mr. Flegger, let me tell you what a gun is in the hands of a citizen. It is an instrument of liberty. And you are an enemy of the people.
You are a tool.
And that is why I wrote Faith in the Patriot, because it's not just my opinion. I have this the Faith in the Patriot book is filled with references, with research material to explain to you, and not just to you, but to your fellow Christians and parishioners and so forth, that no, God does not want you to be a pacifist. God does not want you to be a coward. God does not want you to just lay down and allow monsters like Mr. Flager and Jackson to disarm you. He doesn't want that. And I'm tired of these people masquerading as Christians and at the same time telling them that they need to embrace this socialism. Socialism is evil, and that's all there is to it. All right, I know I'm getting long again, but ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be back tomorrow. We've got an interview with Paul Leitner-Weiss of Leitner-Weiss Manufacturing. Thank you very much for joining us today. I truly appreciate it, and the Faith in the Patriot, it's coming very, very soon, so keep an eye out for that.
Remember, we're going to give away the one book to the grad program this Friday.
That is correct.
And that's going to be before it's published, before it's available.
One lucky grad program member is going to get a autographed proof copy, a pre-release proof copy that was proofed by Mrs. Markle. Forget me. She's the real celebrity. All right, ladies and gentlemen, remember, you are a beginner once, but you should indeed be a student for life.